Hi everyone, it's Laura and I'm going to show you how to make this month's craft kit. I don't have time to show you how to make every pumpkin, so I'm just going to use one to show you some of the main techniques you're going to use. So first I'm going to blend my paint to make it a little bit more pastel so that it's closer to the original image that I saw of these that made me inspired to make them. I'm just using about 2 parts green to 1 part white. And you would do the same thing with the vampire pumpkin, 2 parts purple, 1 part white. And you can always adjust those colors if you want. If you're making the ghost pumpkin, you don't have to blend paint. You just have to use black to add features to your pumpkin. Everybody's going to get one of 3 designs, and you can look a little bit if you want to see if you can find one that you exactly want, or you can ignore the paint that I've given you and use your own paint to make any kind of pumpkin you want. So paint your pumpkin. I did 2 coats and then I blow dried the pumpkin in between them. You want to make sure that you get smooth, even layers of paint, because if you leave any kind of clump, it will, because of the kind of paint we're using, dry in a clump and then crumble, as opposed to cheaper paint which would just dry and leave a line. This is multi-surface paint, so it's designed to go on plastic or glass. It's very nice paint because I didn't know exactly what the surface of these pumpkins was going to be like. If you want to, you can always do this on a real pumpkin. I just wanted us to use a pumpkin that you could put away and bring back out next year. So blow dry and then do a second coat if you're going to do either one of the monsters. If you're going to do the ghost, you probably won't need 2 coats of that black. So here is the second step for our Frankenstein monster, which is to make his hair. Now I filmed this terribly because I always forget I'm filming when I'm making a craft, and in doing so, film my hand for you. So what you're essentially doing is making V shapes, and the deepest part of the V will be in the space between like the bumps on the pumpkin, and then you'll fill in between. So just do that between each of those little ridges on the pumpkin, and you can paint the stem too. And once you're done, you'll have his hair complete. If you don't want to bother with this, just paint the top completely around, but make it look a little bit wavy instead of straight so that it has a little character. And then you can blow dry that too. If you see how opaque that black is, you will not need a second coat of the black. Now, I failed to show you how to make his eyes correctly, so we're going to show you on a paper plate. So you want to dip the end of your foam brush and stamp it. The first stamp is going to be a little gloopy, so like the second or third stamp is perfect, and you want to make sure you have it on top of a ridge, not between, or it'll end up kind of halfway stamped. You can practice on a paper plate before you do it, or on some just regular school paper. Then use the end of your skinny paintbrush to stamp a white circle in your eyes. Now you want to make sure that they're kind of in the same spot, and that way your pumpkin looks like it's looking in a certain direction. Unless you want it to look a little wacky, then you can do it sideways or any which way you want. But if you have gloopy stamps, it won't paint a perfect circle. So that's what it looks like on my pumpkin. And if you want to add features, just again use the back of your thin paintbrush. You can wipe it off in between. I used that to make his little smile. And if you find that you're not really sure what you're doing, you can always use a pencil to kind of sketch out a line where you want it to go. But you don't have to be too particular about this because you can always use real pumpkins and make a bunch of different ones and have them look all different ways. So I'm going to stamp the center of his eyes. Again, why would I have this in frame? Only a professional would do that. We're not professionals here. So there's his little face. That is Frankenstein's monster as a pumpkin. I'm kind of obsessed. So have a lot of fun making these, and I hope to see you at the program.